Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have another diagnosis in here. This is a 2003 Hyundai Santa Fe with a 2.7 engine based on the bean. Customer complained it has a check engine light on. So I went ahead and did a diagnosis. Actually, I have the scanner connected. Let me read the code for you guys too. So disregard these two first one. The Evap emission system vent control solenoid open because I have break myself a core over to the vent valve to activate it while I'm doing the smoke test and while I'm doing the vacuum test to see if it's truly a leak, if we have a problem on the Evap system. So the first two codes, again, I just did those. I was doing the test on the car. So the one we only have is the large leak, which is p0455, sorry. So what I did on this vehicle, since I'm going to connect my own vacuum source and my own pressure source with the smoke test to check for leaks, is not really important many bits that we have in here. So I want to just get the fuel tank pressure sensor right here, and that's the only one that I want to see. We can have this, and let's see which way is easier to read. Probably that one. Disregard that is from -0.1 to -0.002. So actually that's a little confusing, so let's keep it on like this so it's not a gauge that is jumping. So okay, go back to the car again. What I did is I rigged my own ground and power over to the band solenoid because this system on Hyundai doesn't have the activation for the band valve, so it's a little weird it doesn't have it, but I mean we have to work with that. So the first thing that I wanted to do, let me disconnect this. I disconnect the hose coming from the purge solenoid. Let's see if I can do this. I'm sorry guys, it's gonna be a little shaky. Oops, because I need this connector for the smoke machine. Let me pause this and connect the smoke machine because it's shaking too much. All right, so we're back in business. All right, I got the smoke machine connected. I haven't started yet, so let me get all this in the same engine so we can see pressure and everything here. It's a little hard to see that far away. No way, this scanner is so hard to read from far. Well, so okay, so atmospheric pressure is this 0 pounds pretty much. So what I'm going to do is first activate the smoke machine. As you can see, it's blowing, the smoke in there. And what I'm going to do right now is electronically close that vent valve. So we should see that little black ball right here start to bounce and start to come down to 0. And again, I disconnect the purge solenoid hose. It goes over to the Evap canister, and the rest is just pretty much original except for the obvious the vent valve is being operated for me by me. But fuel cap, all hoses from here to the tank, they're all have not been touched. So we can see that we have the pressure dropping, which is increasing the pressure on the tank. And we have right 0.4. Probably that's the maximum value. I'm trying to, yeah, that doesn't make any difference. Maybe a graphic. I guess, yeah, the maximum is the fuel tank reads is 0.4 psi. Well, actually just raise up a little bit. So There's kilopascals. Yeah, it's only pressure and kilopascal. It doesn't have inches of vacuum. Well, this is pressure, so it will not. Let's check the needle with a little ball, and we can see, I mean, this system is a 2002, so it will read only to like 20 thousandths of an inch of a leak. So this, even down here, will not be considered a leak, and it's not leaking. And as you can see, that bulb will go all the way down to the bottom. So we have no leaks. Another way to test that, okay, I'm going to turn the machine off, and we will expect that needle here on the machine to stay as long as that bend solenoid is activated, and this should hold to, which is right now on 0.044. So as soon as I disconnect this test lead, check out the pressure. Don't look at the bulb because that needs pressure to go up and down, but look at the needle here. So we can see that the bend valve open and release the pressure, and we should see that on the scanner as well. So we right now have 0.01 pressure, so 0. So that's atmospheric. So what I'm going to do now to see if the fuel tank pressure sensor is reading correctly, also vacuum, I'm going to use this tool here. This is actually to bleed brakes, but well, this is based on vacuum, so I already tested with a vacuum gauge, and the most it puts on it is like 15 inches of mercury, which, you know, a normal engine running will probably create, you know, 18 at idle, and this test of the Evap system is usually at idle. So I don't see any problems with that. So let me change the air hose from there to there, and then connect this line over to the purge line. So let me stop the video 1 second. Okay, I got the vacuum source connected. Again, it's on the purge solenoid line that goes to the Evap system. Right now we should have almost no difference. It's just a slight difference because we have some vacuum in there, but the vent solenoid is open, and it's not, you know, I haven't grounded, so it's still off. So let me ground the vent solenoid, and we should see immediately that this is going to vacuum. I think the maximum is like 5.8 or 5.9. So let me now disconnect this, and we should see also how that one is going back to pretty much 0. So the fuel pressure tank sensor is reading correctly. Let me disconnect this so we don't need the air here no more. It's making noise. Okay, so the system is completely sealed. I have tested the pen solenoid. I have tested from here all the way to the tank, fuel cap, everything. The only thing that have not been tested will be right here, the purge solenoid. Is this purge solenoid not opening or not closing? So we have to check that up. I can check that with the scanner. So again, let me pause the video, do the setup, and then we can all see that in this car. So I disconnect the hose, and with the car running, tried to run the test for the purge solenoid or the purge valve, and I couldn't feel it working. I mean, it's sealed, it's not producing any vacuum, but it's not being activated. So what I wanted to do is going over to this test preconditions. You have to have the car 80 degrees. So I got a test light connected. All I'm going to do is start the test in here, and that's going to pulse. So we have control. Computer is being able to control that. So I think this is our problem, a purge valve that is not being activated. Alright, so let me order this. I'm going to put it, erase the code, and see how it goes. Alright guys. Okay, I changed the gears a little bit on this testing because I was able to make that valve work. For some reason it doesn't do it, you know, with the procedure that does on the scanner. Like if I do this PCV valve test, it's not running, but if I do the other one, there is just with the ignition on, the valve gets active on and off, and I was able to feel the valve going on and off, which doesn't really mean that we have the flow, but I want to make sure. So I want to make sure there is working. So I got a test light connected to the controls part of that purge valve, and I did the same thing. And right now I got the the bend valve connected to the valve itself, and I'm monitoring that control side too. So let me run the Evap test, which you can do. It can be done in idle. Let me make sure that we have the right temperature, because it has to be over 80 degrees Celsius. So 78, so I have to let it warm up a little bit. Let me erase the code just in case I might set some. 1 second, guys. So I'm right now going to click the Evap test, and let's see what happened. So nothing on there and nothing on the bottom yet. I'm gonna see if that goes on. I'm expecting that one to come off first because it has to close the vent valve. Nothing yet. I'm not sure if I'm connected to the right wire at the bottom, but I know as a fact that I'm connected to the right wire in the purge solenoid. So nothing is going on. The light at least got a little dimmer. Nothing on the bottom. Test is aborted. So it's interrupted by condition, which means a DTC, and most likely we have a large leak. Yeah, exactly. So why is this test not running? Why is those not being activated with the computer? That is my question now. So I'm gonna have to stop this a little bit and think and see if it's a computer issue or what. But I mean, I can control at least this purge valve with the car and just engine off, ignition on. I cannot do anything with the bottom one, but because it's just a self test. Alright, so let me pause this and see what I can find in information and show you guys too. Alright guys, it was user error. I forgot to either first connect the 20-foot extension to the battery, and also my bulb and that test light was damaged. Alright, so let's try to do this again. So we have a code for the leak. Let's erase the code. Which truly, I mean, the test light is just to check that we have activations. We know that the purge solenoid is not being activated. At least we didn't see it. That test light is working. So let's go over to active tests, go over to Evap leak tests, and then now we should see that. Okay, now we see. All right, we have the bend solenoid being closed. And we have this one, looks like it's active. Let me see if I can feel any suction being applied. So we got no suction here. It seems that is, yep, that was working. So we have a bed purge solenoid for sure. Now I was able to pick up that light. Now it's being active again, as you can see. So the computer is still trying to command it on, and I have nothing in here. So let me make sure I have the hose all the way in, and I do. Just want to make sure if this is activation or just through the coil, because in this one at the bottom you can see that when it's off, it's not going through the coil or not finding a way to ground because it's not being grounded. I have the test light to power. Same thing with this one. I have the test light to power on the control side. So I'm not sure if it does activation or not. So let's do it again. Let's erase the code because I know as a fact that we have the code in there. Make sure we got no codes. Yeah, no codes. Special functions, evap leak test. Temperature is fine. So look at how dim it goes right now with that. So it's not active, but the bottom is active. But then now it goes to active. So that for me is a bad purge solenoid. Again, I'm going to disconnect the hose. We got no vacuum. Okay, so that's good. That gives me certainty to replace that valve. It's sound, but it's not making anything right now. We can see that we have nothing in there. We got a DTC. You can see now it goes a little less dim. Now in the system, we know that the purge control valve should be always closed and the vent valve always open. So not active and neither active. So again, right now the light on the vent solenoid is off. So let me get that valve and we retest, make sure everything is working. Alright guys, I got the new valve installed on the purge control solenoid or valve, which is that one right there. I still got the test light connected, not to the battery. I think what I really want to do is run the Evap test. So let me start the car. Alright, car is running now. I already erased the codes, so let's read it again, make sure we got no codes. So no fault codes, and we're going to go to special functions, evap leak test, and then let it run by itself. We will really need to have a fuel volume reading as soon as that valve opens, and also the fuel tank pressure has to change. Okay, we have that one in there, perfect. That means the purge solenoid is working and is opening now, and I expect the test to go through and find no leaks, which we know we have no leaks. So let's just let it run completely. Okay, so this is a fix. Test complete, no leaks. So we can get out of here. And I hope you guys like the video. I show you pretty much all the fundamentals and all the tests that you have to run through an Evap system on a 2003 Hyundai Santa Fe. The car is now fixed, and I will not expect a return, at least not for these reasons or for these same reasons, because I check everything. And that's one thing that I like to do, is make sure the customer will not return from any codes related to the Evap system. Okay, hope you guys like the video, and don't forget to subscribe.